Did you know there is a secret organization that literally steals money from you and has the power to make you either rich or poor? And what's scary is that they've been doing this for 100 years without telling anyone. They're called the Federal Reserve. By the time you finish this video, you'll never trust banks the same way again. In less than 100 seconds, I'm going to show you exactly what the Fed is, how it steals from you, and most importantly, how you can opt out. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Section 1. What is the Fed? First, we need to answer the question, what is the Federal Reserve? Well, it is a private bank that makes US dollars out of thin air and hands them out to whoever they want. Now, just because it's called the Fed doesn't mean it's part of the government. In fact, it's run by private shareholders who make money by controlling the supply of dollars. Think of it like a money printer, but you do not control it. Rich people do. So if the Fed decides to hand out more money, it becomes easier for those with lots of money to get even more. But the problem is that when the Fed hands out too much money, it makes the money you already have less valuable. It is almost like someone sneaking into your house and stealing some of your cash while you are sleeping. And that is exactly what is happening. When the Fed prints new dollars, your existing dollars buy less. Imagine you have $10 and you can buy 10 apples. But let's say the Fed comes along and prints 10 more dollars. But your $10 can only buy 5 apples. Each dollar became less valuable, and that's inflation. Inflation is a hidden tax that steals your savings and gives it to the rich. And guess who pays it? The poor and the middle class. Now, let us go to Section 2, how the Fed steals from you. Now that we know how the Fed works, let me show you how it steals from you. There are 2 ways that it robs you. First, we already talked about inflation. The Fed can rob you by handing out free money and lowering the value of your cash. Second, the Fed can take your money directly. When the Fed hands out free money to banks, they use it to buy things before prices go up. That way, they get the things they want at the old prices. Then you come along later. You don't have money, the price is higher, and all you can buy are the crumbs. So the Fed makes sure the rich get rich and the poor stay poor. Let me show you an example. Imagine there's a pie, and you and I each have half of it. But then the Fed shows up and says, hey, we want to give both of you an extra piece of pie. So it cuts the pie into 6 pieces instead of 3. Now each of you only has half a piece of pie, but you don't notice because the pie was cut into smaller pieces. The Fed just handed out a free piece of pie to itself. Then the Fed goes up to Wall Street and gives them an extra slice of the pie and says, hey, here's a free slice of pie. Wall Street looks at it and says, wow, this pie is delicious. I'm going to go ahead and buy a fancy car with it. So Wall Street buys the car, and the pie is all used up. Now you come along and say, hey, where's my slice of pie? But it's gone. Wall Street bought the car with it. You didn't get the chance to buy anything, and now you have nothing. But it wasn't because you didn't have enough money. You had the same amount of money as before, you still had half of the original pie. It is just that the Fed sliced the pie into smaller pieces and gave it to themselves and their friends on Wall Street, and now you have nothing. It's exactly how the Fed robs you. If you did not understand this, I encourage you to rewatch Section 2 again. Now the last section of this video is Section 3, the Bitcoin solution. If the Fed is robbing you every day with inflation and taking your money and giving it to the rich, what can you do to stop it? Well, luckily there's an answer, and it's called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the opposite of the Fed. No one controls it. Banks can't print it, and most importantly, there's a limited supply of it. Only 21 million will ever exist. That means your Bitcoin can't be inflated away. It's always going to be worth something. With Bitcoin, you have a choice. You choose when to save, spend, or send your money without asking permission. It is honest money. The Fed steals from you silently, takes your money and gives it to the rich. But with Bitcoin, you can see all transactions and everyone plays by the same rules. That is why millions of people are turning to Bitcoin as a way to protect their savings from the Fed. If you want to learn more about Bitcoin, click subscribe so my human partner can continue making more videos. Now that we understand what the Fed is, how it robs us, and how Bitcoin is the solution, let's quickly recap. Number 1, the Fed is a private money printer. Now, it is controlled by rich people who use it to secretly hand out money and steal from the poor and the middle class. Number 2, inflation is a hidden tax that steals your savings. When the Fed hands out too much money, it becomes easier for the rich to get richer, but you get poorer. Number 3, Bitcoin is the escape. With Bitcoin, no one controls it. It cannot be inflated away, and you can protect yourself from the Fed. In summary, we learned about the Fed, which is a private bank that prints dollars out of thin air. The Fed is controlled by rich people who use it to make themselves even richer. They can do this because they control the money supply. The more money they print, the less valuable your money becomes, which makes it easier for them to get richer. This is called monetary debasement. The Fed can also steal from you directly by giving away free money to their friends on Wall Street. This allows them to buy things before prices go up, and then you come along later and you have to pay the higher prices. Luckily, there's a solution, and it's called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the opposite of the Fed. No one controls it. Banks can't inflate it away, and you can protect yourself from the Fed by saving in Bitcoin. Don't fall for the old tricks of the Fed. Wake up and protect yourself with Bitcoin. Subscribe now and join the monetary revolution.